Und hallo, herzlich willkommen zurück bei Honkai. Und wir machen hier weiter mit Anaxas Quest. Wir steigen mal hier weiter auf. Let's go. Gott, ja.
Oh, beautiful old world. Where are you now? Oh, legendary era Chrysia. Return to the mortal realm. Splendid gods once walked the paths we walk. Alas, all that's left of that warmth is a hazy mirage.
Why are you chanting that too?
Dich kriege ich da hinten. Dich kriege ich da hinten. Wo ist... Ja. Hey. Ja, sag ich doch.
Come on, then. Come on, then.
Treffe ich doch nicht. Dann trifft er nur mich.
Sound ringers.
Halt. Ich wüsste was. Romay kann wieder weg. Ja.
Emerge from your cocoon.
Ach, doch nicht. Na gut. Ich dachte, ich treffe. Bitte mal. Alt. Was gehört? Ich kann auch hier rumgehen. Aha. Ach, dann.
Let's take a picture.
Guten Tag.
We're here, finally. So, don't get to ask the Titan my question, but all of you make for a pleasant surprise, nonetheless. Very well then. Let me uncover the truth for myself.
Sieht aber nicht mehr gut aus.
Did I still fail to make it in time? So, I'm back here again. I can hear it. I hear it from the depths of the tides, behind the closed doors of the void world. A voice ready to tell me something. This time, the voice is a lot clearer than before.
Since we've come this far, let's just wait.
Lord Nias and Miss Calypso, are you both here to visit Chaos too?
Yes, and we've been waiting for quite some...
Regrettably, he hasn't answered us. The worst-case scenario is that he's already been overwhelmed and crushed by the world-bearing burden.
You're overthinking, Lord Nias. I can still sense Chaos' soul in the area. And besides, we both know Chaos' nature. A deliverer like him wouldn't fall so readily, much less give up on all that he holds.
Yes, I have...
That reminds me. Why are you making this trip alone, Polixia?
Oh, my sister needs more time to make sure the flowers are fine.
Such a pity. Both of you have hearts kinder than anyone else. Yet you are born only to take over Thanet.
Everything that I see and hear this time has left me shaken. What may seem like a mundane conversation is in truth a once-in-a-lifetime exchange. The conjecture has taken shape and must now be solidified into a theorem. Next, I only need to seek verification from Kefali. By doing so, I can answer Cersei's question and reclaim. But no, I will not do that. That isn't important, because another one of my conjectures, one that I have always dreamed of proving, has been proved right, fusing a mortal soul with that of a Titan to replace said Titan is not a ludicrous idea after all.
Danach.
What are you thinking about?
Ich bin nur erstaunt, dass dieser hochaufregende Baum Ceres göttlicher Körper ist. Es ist ein majestätischer Anblick.
Is that so? You don't look the slightest bit amazed, though. Plus, you seem to be strangely familiar with the city around the Great Tree.
Nur etwas aus der Vergangenheit, auf das ich nicht näher eingehen möchte.
Events of the past, huh? I was also a child when I looked up at Cersei's. Their leaves and branches reflected the sparkling stars, and their trunk was like a pillar that supported the sky and ground. I stood at this very spot back then, imagining the day when I could climb to the top of this tree, because I would be the closest I can be to the sky at that spot.
Du bist ein Himmelspriester, doch du studierst an einem Ort, der die Titanen der Vernunft beherbergt. Das ist ziemlich
Don't read too much into it.
Sprüchlich.
I mean,
Spülich.
can mortals even hope to reach Aquila's realm? They're a strict and draconian god. Nothing like Cersei's. Reason is willing to share what is theirs with others, but Sky? only expects people to revere them. You get what I'm saying, right, Denny?
Danny.
After all, the titan that imprisoned you and Grey here in Amphorius is none other than Aquila themselves.
Ja, ich hatte nicht damit gerechnet, die Wut eines örtlichen Gottes zu
But there will
provozieren.
always be people who dream of soaring towards the sky. The Grove has a wealth of research on Aquila, and that is exactly what we are here for. It's just... I never thought Grey would meet with something like that before we set off. As a physician, I should have been there by his side.
Pech kommt selten allein, also mach dich nicht verrückt. Außerdem braucht Aglea dich hier, um die Wahrheit über die Geschehnisse im Hain herauszufinden. Lass uns einfach das Beste aus dieser Reise machen und nach allen Dokumenten Ausschau halten, die mit der Titanen des Todes zu tun haben. Sie könnte für Fakrina nützlich sein.
Yeah, there's no rest for the weary, huh? In any case, what we're looking for could be anywhere in this enormous grove. Let's split up to cover more ground. Danny,
Und du? Schaffst du es allein?
have you forgotten that you're talking to the chief physician of the Twilight Courtyard? Have more faith in me. I'll be just fine.
Die Stelle hier ist erdrückend. Mit der riesigen Menge an Wissen, die sie birgt, gleicht diese Akademie einem Labyrinth aus Informationen. Selbst die klügsten Gelehrten würden sich hier leicht verirren. Ich sollte meine Gedanken sammeln, bevor ich mich auf den Weg mache. In den Mythen ist Kyala der Titan, der über das Reich des Himmels herrscht. Ein kolossaler Vogel, der die Welt unter sich mit Hornetaugen überblickt. Solange er über den Wolken schwebt, bleibt das Volk von Amphorius auf dem Boden gefangen. Der Vorfahren von Hyacinth waren Priester, die Aquila verehrten. Niemand kennt die Tabus des Titans des Himmels besser als sie. Da Aglea sie als Anführerin geschickt hat, ist es möglich, dass sie plant, Hyacinth in Zukunft auf eine Prüfung zu schicken. Vorher sind die Titanen ein gängiges Diskussionsthema. Die Menschen erschaffen Mythen, die wiederum Titanen erfinden. Es ist schwierig, unter den Menschen in Amphorius eine objektive Sichtweise zu bewahren. Gibt es eine Möglichkeit, von der Situation Abstand zu gewinnen und sie aus einer anderen Perspektive zu betrachten? Titan und Äon sind zwei verschiedene Kategorien von Wesen. Titanen können mit uns Menschen kommunizieren. Und es ist nicht möglich für uns, sie zu überwältigen. Nach ihren Ableben können wir sogar ihre Göttlichkeit übernehmen. In dieser Hinsicht sind die Titanen den Menschen sehr viel ähnlicher als die Äonen. Erben von Theosus sind Menschen, die heroische Eigenschaften besitzen, wobei die meisten von ihnen außergewöhnliche Kampffähigkeiten und Stärke aufweisen. Durch das Bestehen einer Kernflammenprüfung kann ein Erbe von Sirius sogar zu einem Halbgott aufsteigen und die Göttlichkeit eines Titan erben. Moment, irgendwas stimmt hier nicht. Ist das eine Art Auswahlverfahren? Geleitet von der Prophezeiung sind die Helden auf der Suche, um Kernflammen zurückzuerobern und die Ära Nova einzuläuten. Bisher sind ihre Bemühungen sehr erfolgreich gewesen. Wie ich erwartet hatte, ist die Prophezeiung am schwersten zu entschlüsseln. Aber da ich kaum Informationen habe, kann ich noch so viel darüber nachdenken. Etwas anderes überlegen. Die Lage von Fakrina. Niemand hätte sich je vorstellen können, dass das Leben von Fakrina in dem Moment verwirkt sein würde, indem wir auf Empyrus landen. Ich hätte mehr tun sollen, um sie zu schützen, aber es ist noch nicht zu spät. Wir haben immer noch eine Chance. Die einzigartigen Regeln, die über Leben und Tod in Empyrus entscheiden, können sich zu unseren Gunsten auswirken und sie retten. Jahren ist eine wahre Bibliothek des Wissens. Reich haben sie Aufzeichnungen über einen ähnlichen Fall. Ich hoffe, dass es einen gegeben hat. Genug gegrübelt, weiter geht's. Die Zeit wird knapp. Oh, 200. Hallo. Doch nicht. Ja, hier drauf. Hey, hier. Komm schon. Schwarze Monster, deren Gestalt verdreht ist und deren Leben sich zusammen mit ihren Seelen in Asche verwandelt hat. Es ist unmöglich herauszufinden, wie sie aussahen, als sie noch am Leben waren. Das sind die Überreste einer Kreatur der schwarzen Flut. Aus der Nähe sieht es ganz anders aus als die Titanwesen. Es ist darunter eine Schriftrolle, eine aufgezeichnete Debatte zwischen den Gelehrten des Venerationismus und das ein entzifferbarer Teil endet hier. Ich werde es einmal behalten. Ja, behalte das mal. Und speeden. Runter. Was ist hier Szene? Warum ist sie von so vielen Monstern umgeben? Dafür Vertrauen ich auch in sie habe. Das ist wahrscheinlich eine gute Idee, da ihr da zu helfen.
Really now? This is way more trouble than I could have asked for.
Brauchst du Hilfe?
Or you could sit back and watch.
Na gut.
I'm kidding, Dad.
Na gut. Denn doch. Oh ja, oh mein Gott.
Confidence.
Zappern. Push.
My friend. Indulge yourself.
Life is not so fragile. Who's here? Embrace a new life.
Okay. Oh. Dieser Ort ist quasi in Schutt und Asche gelegt. Was ist passiert? Es sollte hier nicht so viele Monster geben.
The black tide is remarkably quick to detect the light of Amphorius. So or rather, the blessings of the Sky Priest in me, might have unknowing. Anyway, never mind that for now. Here, you might want to have a look at this. I found it around here and thought it might be of interest to you.
Ja, das ist total gut. Anaxa ist der Gelehrte, der sich mit dem Kern der Vernunft verschmolzen hat.
This is new. I didn't know Professor Anaxa was researching this guy. He's never mentioned anything about it.
Feinan sagte, Anaxa könnte gegen die Flammenjagd sein.
Might is an understatement. Anaxa has never been one to venerate the gods, nor has he ever found it within himself to put any faith in the prophecy. People have come to think of him as a heretic. Yet, it is also this very blasphemer that Circe's favors. Fate sure works in
Auf meinem Weg hier habe ich ebenfalls eine Schriftrolle mitgenommen. Es scheint, als wäre sie mit der verwandt, die du in der Hand hältst.
Oh, let me have a look.
Lass mich mal sehen. War hier.
By the looks of them,
Das
these
Aussehen der
scrolls are
Schriftrollen
records
lässt
of two
vermuten.
conversations that took place in the same setting, one after the other.
Es gibt noch vieles, was ich über den Hain nicht weiß. Darf ich dir ein paar Fragen stellen?
Sure, go ahead. The Grove of Epiphany is home to 7 schools of thought. While all 7 schools are founded on the ideologies of Thalesis, the first scholar, each is unique in its own way. Among them, the Venerationists revere and worship the Titans the most. As the sage of the Venerationists, Euthyphro has always been at loggerheads with Anaxa. If we were to place the 7 sages on the scales of Talanton, Anaxa and Euthyphro would be placed on opposite sides to achieve balance.
Eine sehr anschauliche Erklärung. Vielen Dank.
Nearly everyone in Amphorius has heard the story of the skyships by now. Aquila's stature is loftier than the heavens, and their divine retribution is merciless. That's why it's no use building giant skyfaring ships. Oh, but I do wonder if a supercharged mini treaty cannon could slip past their watch.
Das war ein Scherz, oder?
Newsporists primarily study the application of alchemy in soul repair. Everyone considers Anaxa a blasphemer, but that has never stopped him from sharing his ideas, no matter how taboo. If you must say that he's hiding. Anaxa often says that every failure brings us one step closer to the truth. Perhaps, to him, the crash of the skyship carries a different interpretation. The firmament is not impenetrable. It's a shame that the majority of the Grove's research on Aquila was headed by the Venerationists, with sacrificial rituals making up a predominant part of their findings. Discourse about more esoteric subject matters in relation to Aquila dwindled even further after the skyship incident.
Mach dir keine Gedanken darüber. Wir werden erst einmal alles sammeln, was wir über die Titanen finden können. Es ist aber noch etwas anderes, das mir aufgefallen ist. Hier steht, dass Anaxa irgendeine Art von geheimen Experimenten durchführt.
That's what I'd like to know. What are these experiments he's involved in? Even I, the assistant lecturer, know next to nothing about them. I have a bad feeling about this. Could there be more to what happened at the Grove?
Da.
This is the Library of Philia,
Das ist die
a place where the
Bibliothek
Grove
und
stores its collection of tomes. Other than books written by the 7 schools, you can also find philosophical texts, ballads, and religious writings from the Outlands here. Cities that we've had more than our fair share of hilarious episodes over the years. For instance, it's said that the Erythro-Keramists once borrowed a manuscript from a certain author, but ended up returning a copy instead of the original. What's more, the original manuscript was supposedly then hidden here.
das klingt nicht besonders nett.
Nice? No need to hold yourself back, Danny. You can just tell it like it is.
Danny,
Their
hallo.
behavior was no different from bandits.
Also wenn es hier nichts ausmacht, hat der Hain ehemals Custom Criminals ausgeraubt.
You've got me there. Some said you couldn't even find a dictionary in Castrum Kremnos, so I guess they were spared. There are too many books in the Library of Philia. Flipping through them all will take too long. Why don't we use the Biblioslate to search for the text we need? We can bring...
Ja, dieser Ort ist nicht sicher. Wir sollten gehen, sobald wir fertig sind. Es gibt noch einige Schriftrollen, die überall verstreut sind. Ich werde sie einsammeln, während du diese Texte abrufst, sodass nichts übersehen wird. Die Kunst der Täuschung. 40 Methoden zur Verbesserung einer Debatte. Ein Buch, das von vielen Gelehrten kommentiert wurde. Ein Buch mit Anmerkungen vieler Gelehrter. Sein Titel lautet Die Kunst der Suffixtik. 40 Wege zur Verbesserung deiner Debattierfähigkeiten. Du beflickst es, folgende Methoden wurden unter den Umkehrung von Widersprüchen, Vermischung und Tatsachenverdrehung und Realität falsch, interpretierte Zeichensetzung für Fehlzuschreibung und verallgemeinerte Spezialität. Nach Recherchen steht die Ausrufe der Gelehrten, ein wahrer Augenöffner, die Kunst der Sprache kennt keine Grenzen. Wenn ich die nicht meistern kann, so kann ich wenigstens lernen, mich als ehrlicher Mensch gegen sie zu verteidigen und so weiter. Der letzte Ausweg ist, wenn alles andere versagt, wende rohe Gewalt an. Das wird uns nicht weiterhelfen. So viel ist sicher. Untersuchung. Das sind Beschwerdebriefe von Gelehrten über Anaxa, den Frevelier. Es gibt einen dicken Stapel Briefe. Angesichts des angemessenen Staubs und der vollkommenen intakten Siegel hat sich der Empfänger der Beschwerden nicht einmal Mühe gegeben, sie zu öffnen, sondern sie einfach in die Ecke geworfen. Es geht um Anaxa. Ich sollte das lesen. Wir erzählen, du solltest auch kommen und es dir ansehen.
It's so dusty in here. Whoa. Are these all complaints about him? I can already see what they must have written. Anaxa has no respect for the gods. His very existence undermines order in our society.
Hat Anaxa so viel Einfluss?
Why else would they call him the great performer? When Anaxa established his school of thought, the first thing he apparently did was read his own work to everyone.
Are the Titans truly an accurate reflection of what humans think gods should be? Worlds created by gods are indubitably perfect, but what of Emporius?
Eine unheimliche Nachahmung. Was ist danach passiert?
They marched him straight to the seat of judgment before he could finish. Though what he took on in the end was more of a debate than an actual trial. He had to address every one of the scholar's allegations, or face expulsion from the grove. The first allegation was... Do you agree that since the Titans created the heavens and earth, so the mountains, rivers, and seas must likewise be their creation?
Soll ich mich jetzt in Anaxas Lager versetzen und das beantworten? Ja. Den Methoden zufolge sind die Meere, der Himmel und die Erde zweifelsohne Schöpfung der Titanen.
Anaxa would have probably been spared a lot of trouble if he had answered this way. Instead, he quoted past instances of the flame-chased journey and posited that humans have the potential to take over the divinity of Titan. Needless to say, his critics didn't take kindly to his answer, so they followed up with a second allegation.
You claim to be studying souls, yet you are, in fact, defiling them and committing acts condemned by the gods.
Das ist ein schwerwiegender Vorwurf. Hat er das wirklich getan?
Anaxa always wears an eye patch, never removing it, even when alone. Some say he used one of his eyes as an alchemical ingredient. Every being in the world owes their safekeeping to Kifili, and this is even more so for the Chrysos heirs who have divine blood coursing through them. Thankfully, they had no way to prove it, so it amounted to nothing more than an allegation in the end. One by one, Anaxa engaged in wars of words against those who would challenge him. Toward the end, a scholar asked him,
Anaxagoras, have you any respect for the god?
It was only after a brief silence that he answered,
I have never denied that Titans are meant to be noble.
Wenn er nicht gesagt hat, nämlich, dass die Titanen nicht edel sind, ist in diesem Fall auffälliger.
I'm not sure how that controversy was eventually resolved, but what's for certain at least is that Anaxa was allowed to stay in the grove where he continued his research. despite being regarded as a heretic. By the way, this stack of complaint letters has reminded me of a place in the grove. We may find clues there that aren't on the teleslate. I'm talking about Anaxa's alchemy lab, hidden between the corners.
Könnte es angesichts der akribischen Archivierungspraxis des Heinz wirklich ein solches Versäumnis direkt vor ihrer Nase geben?
It's a well-kept secret. Among the 7 sages, excluding the nominal chief sage, each has a private sanctuary where they can conduct research undisturbed in their free time. Even the administrators of the Library of Philia are restricted from accessing those places and documenting the sage's research. With the grove in this state, I'm sure Anaxa won't be mad even if we sneak into the lab for a short while.
Schon da.
This is the place, but
Wir sind da,
is
aber
everything?
wo ist alles?
Materials for alchemical experiments,
Materialien
matrix
für
diagrams,
Chemieexperimente.
and even the seal to the lab.
Dann,
They're all gone. Did the black tide?
was kann passieren, ne? Warst du schon mal hier?
No, not even close. Not only are alchemy experiments high-risk activities, but Professor Anaxa also has a penchant for using bizarre materials. Students often saw him walk in looking right as rain, but come out covered in soot with his hair singed. Naturally, That bookshelf over there seems to be
Das
the
Bücherregal
only
dort
thing still
drüben
intact.
scheint das Einzige zu sein, das noch intakt ist. Ja. Dies sind von Anaxoras angeforderte Materialien. Dokumente aus verschiedenen Fachbereichen wurden an einem Ort zusammengetragen, darunter Schöpfungen der Titanen und Universalität der Seele, die Lehre der Alchemie und so weiter. Das meiste Material scheint zum Forschungsbereich des Gnosporasmus zu gehören. Allerdings befindet sich auch ein Dokument mit dem Titel eine Studie über den Hintergrund der Erben von Chrysos darunter. Teil 1 sogar. Der Brandzwang Kassenkraus, Jahren von anderen. Mhm. Interessant.
What's going on? Anaxa is conducting research on our friends in Oktober and me?
Die Notizen enthalten einige interessante Punkte. Vom Abgrund des Schicksals bis zu Custom Criminals habe ich während meiner Zeit in so manche Schöpfung der Titanen gesehen. Auch die von Celsius erschaffenen Lebenshormone können im Hain gefunden werden. Aber sie durch Alchemie mit menschlichen Seelen zu verbinden, ich kann mir das nicht einmal vorstellen. Anaxa scheint ein besonderes Interesse an der Göttlichkeit zu haben, die durch die Adern der Erben von Jesus fließt, und hat sogar eine gründliche Untersuchung der Hintergründe der Helden durchgeführt.
It wouldn't have been so strange if he had focused only on Cassie, given her own curiosity about her origins. Plus, considering that the new sporists have crafted omnipotent medicines capable of curing diseases, it also makes sense that he would conduct research on immortal Chrysos heirs. But now, it seems Anaxa's objective was never to create medicine, but to identify the origin of the golden blood and figure out its inner workings.
Jo. Mithilfe der Alchemie will Anaxa das goldene Blut der Erben bis zu einem Reinheitsgrad verfeinern, der Göttlichkeit gleichkommt. Das muss es sein, was er mit Annäherung an die wahre Reinheit meint, aber sowohl die Schöpfungen der Titanen als auch den menschlichen Körper als Material für alchemistische Experimente zu behandeln, das ist ziemlich extrem.
Danny, look at this. I have a bad feeling about this.
Scheint unverständlich zu sein. Ja.
My biggest fear. It's come true. After going through his notes, I think I can piece it all together now. Anaxa was carrying out experiments on soul transmutation.
Du meinst, er versucht, menschliche Seelen alchemistisch zu rekonstruieren?
Yes, this is what he was secretly conducting research on. Something he had to keep hidden from others. Compared to his public speeches, this is the real blasphemy. Oh, I just thought of something.
Was
Do
ist?
you remember when the black tide was approaching? The Grove had planned to send Cersei's core flame to a safe place. But an accident happened along the way, and Anaxa lost his life in the process.
Ja, Jesus hat seinen Körper übernommen und ihn wiederbelebt, was zu der Situation geführt hat, in der wir uns jetzt befinden.
That's right. But what if Professor Anaxa's fusion with the core flame of reason wasn't an accident?
Meinst du das?
Put yourself in his shoes. Knowing that the black tide was closing in and your time was running out, what would you have done?
Ich würde meine Theorien testen, koste es, was es wolle.
Exactly. When the black tide came, the true reason Anaxa headed to the luminary throne was to transmute and fuse himself with the Titan's core flame.
Hatte Erfolg?
Judging from how he reacted after the event, the results came as a surprise. Maybe he failed to consider the possibility that Circes would make a similar decision. The manuscripts detailing all the alchemical formulae have been taken away. His research is still...
Könnte er sie für andere Zwecke genommen haben?
Like, what? There's only one Titan left in the world now. No. No way.
Ja, wenn wir die Prinzipien der Schöpfung verstehen, können wir die Perfektion schon im ersten Atemzug des Lebens erreichen. Wenn Anaxa jetzt in Oktober ist, bedeutet das...
He's after Kefali.
Sir, this sky above us, it's not real, is it?
Of course not. This is just an image from a projection device used for educational purposes. A simple trick. The day-night cycle has been lost to this world. So that students like you may still learn about the night sky, astronomers have harnessed the Titan's miraculous power to manipulate the light, projecting the nights of the past here for you. Much like how the sky above the Holy City is also illuminated by Kefali's dawn device.
So, the skies of Akama are fake too.
You mustn't conclude that, Anaxa. You should know that only a child would expose a trick and be proud of it. Often people know more than they let on. They simply choose to feign ignorance because they have no other choice.
Then they're just deluding themselves. People believe in Kefali's tale of Genesis, accepting wholesale whatever the priests preach. But we're different. We have already realized that we live in a world where Titans make the rules. Even when we look at the sky, we're only seeing what they allow us to see. Rather than gazing at this mockery of a night sky fabricated by them for the rest of my life, why shouldn't I be the one to take control of the projection device instead?
So much time has passed since you sowed the seeds of doubt in my heart, child. Many a night, I find myself penning down all my theories and wild ideas.
Why? Because we'll face death by burning if word gets out?
As a sage of the Venerationists, my soul has already become inextricably linked to the great tree. Every word I say and every move I make is certain to influence every leaf, but above all else, my days are numbered. Instinctively, I have my doubts about the golden blood and the human soul, yet I have no means of verifying them. The golden blood in my veins is woefully thin, and I am loath to waste what little time I have left obsessing over a hypothesis that cannot even be proven in the first place.
But I can, sir. I can do it for us. The time is right. Give me all that I need, and I shall accomplish this grand feat on your behalf.
You're right. I shall do just that. In the next meeting of the sages, I will spare no efforts fighting for the rights you deserve. Go. Establish your own school of thought. Find out what we are. Become the one who conquers the ultimate truths of the world.
Child of humanity. You didn't go to such lengths for an audience with Kefali. Just ask him a few questions, did you?
So, you figured it out. If I were as foolish as a Dromus, perhaps I'd throw myself down and prostrate before their greatness, begging for the gods' prophetic wisdom. Well, sorry to disappoint, but I'm no Dromus. Alas, I am a...
Before such power, does it make any difference whether you're a human or a Dromus?
I'm sure you're familiar with the story of the Styxians. When the raging waves threatened to swallow them, they didn't just give up and become sitting ducks. No. They constructed a dam that kept the roaring tide at bay, chaining down the mad Fagusa. They call me a blasphemer, Circes. But that doesn't mean I deny the existence of gods. It's just... as I see it, Titans are simply a force that mankind has yet to find a way to tame.
Oh? If power that rivals the Titans is what you crave, why not conform to the prophecy and brave the trial?
Why stop at harnessing the power of the Titans when I can do so much more? The source of life is what I wish to grasp, to understand what makes up the soul, and to learn what we really are. Thanks to you, I've had the chance to personally verify, in more ways than one, that the soul indeed ceases to exist in death. But where there is death, there is life. How then is a soul born? That was the only unknown variable left in my calculations.
And by the sound of it, you have already formed a conjecture.
No, I have already drawn a conclusion. In my journey unto death just now, I finally saw the answer with my own eyes.
Professor Anaxa. I'm here. Her life hangs by a thread. I must ask you to refrain from taking any unnecessary steps.
Of course. I'll bring this to a conclusive end, and give you the answer you so desire. However, in accordance with the principle of equivalent exchange, I must also demand from you what I need.
As you wish.
Don't you care to know what the price might be?
It's a matter of uncovering the truth about the Death Titan and her survival. This may be the only time I can ever save someone's life. There is no need for me to think twice.
I see. In that case, let the
Indulge me. Am I correct to say that you intend to prove Thanatos' whereabouts and prove the nature of our existence now?
Before I begin, I must confess I had been stuck in a cognitive trap all this time. As unrelated as these two propositions may seem at first glance, they are in fact logical equivalents. They are merely two different ways of telling us about what the soul is at its core. The reason I say this is, as I've mentioned earlier, the answer was hidden in my journey unto death.
Anaxa, you were in the Netherrealm?
Yes, I am but a living dead man now, but that's not important. What truly matters is, I overheard a conversation between heroes. That's not all. Remember how I said you were a part of that conversation too, Circes?
And I've told you that I have no recollection of such an event. That was likely just an illusion conjured up by the mind of a dying man.
Of course you would remember, because that wasn't you. That was Calypso, one of the 7 sages of the Grove.
Calypso?
That's the name I made up on a whim when speaking to this girl. How do you know of it? And surely you jest. Don't you think I, of all people, would know if that were the name of one of the 7 sages under the shade of my tree? Don't you claim to know the grove's past like the back of your hand?
It seems you've lost even the memories seared into your soul. Use your head, Circes. Since all of this took place in the realm of the dead, it stands to reason their likenesses are of souls from the living cannot step foot into that world. So who could they be? Think about Calypso. Why does she share your likeness? Yet the answer is evident, is it not? Those fallen heroes are the mortal incarnations of the Titans before their ascensions to godhood. The gods aren't master creators born out of thin air, and they are no different from humans, because they all evolved from one. Does this answer disappoint you?
Yes, because you've answered nothing. If I truly was once human, as you claim, then where do the children of humanity...
Even on the off chance that you speak the truth, this brings us no closer to grasping Thanatos' whereabouts. How are we to find them?
I knew you would say that. But it matters not. I know what I'm doing. Actually, why don't we have this supreme being standing before us tell us if...
You can revive a Titan?
Humans cannot return from the dead. Neither can gods. But all we need to do is look at this from a different perspective, and the problem will resolve itself. The solution, if I'm reborn as Kefali, I can rebuild the world and all within it as they once did. Simple, is it not?
Währenddessen...
I have news from Hyacinth and Danhung. Anaxa might be trying to do something with Kefali's divine body.
Kefali? But what could Anaxa want? Is the Council of Elders going to sit around and let such a sacrilegious act unfold?
That is not possible. He is indeed the great performer, capable of fooling anyone and everyone with...
I'm sorry.
No need for guilt, for this is good news to us. The Council of Elders has found themselves a traitorous ally. Anaxa's ambitious desires will be something we can exploit. What we should be doing now is to keep our eyes peeled for whichever trickery Kynus is up to, and react accordingly to thwart her plans. Being Akima's political center, the Demigod Council holds just as much significance as the Vortex of Genesis. Someday, after my duty is over, this site will take the place of the battlefield where you hunt gods. But till then, it's best to get used to this place as soon as possible.
Gut, tschüss, auch rein.
Preposterous! The Christos only have their standing because of the Council of Elders. How dare they trample over it?
Wow, diese Leute erdolchen mich förmlich mit ihren Blicken.
It's been a while.
Guten Tag.
What is that supposed to mean? Is this really the sort of person that the young lord praised as a ferocious warrior?
It has indeed been some time, Lord Krateros. What brings you here in such haste?
Shh, keep it down. Be more vigilant.
Scheiße.
See those duplicitous dogs over there? They do the dirty work for Kynus. I've already ordered my people to hold them back, but we should still lay low. Unless you're itching for a bloody fight to get a workout in.
My bad. So,
Did you hear thunderclaps last night?
Was ist schon?
She's been through a lot lately. Please pardon her. Can you tell us more about these thunderclaps?
Thunderclaps are beacon signals of strife. They are a message from the young lord. He threw a spear bearing several words in Akama.
Watch out. The Flame Reaver is back.
I guessed as much. We didn't actually kill them back at the Kremnos Arena.
I figured this is something you would want to know. We Kremnoans never back down from a fight. So if you plan to take that thing down in a battle, reach out.
You have my gratitude. I will let her...
Remind her to be on her toes while you're at it. That vicious kindness has been unusually active lately. Those lackeys she keeps under cover have been going in and out of the city a lot more frequently these days. Some even seem to be getting Kremnoans to defect to the council. How dare you!
That's...
Looks like you can see it for yourself.
We should get back. Thank you for the intel, Lord.
Gut. Aber das war's hier für die Folge. Und man sieht sich nächste Woche wieder. Bis dann, ciao.